What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Shameless Watch Collector. If you spend any time shopping for watches on AliExpress, you already know the deal. New releases seem to hit every week. New brands pop up out of nowhere. Familiar brands level up constantly. And then a brand that bored you all year drops something that makes you pay attention again. And since I spend way too much time on AliExpress, I wanted to put together a guide that's more about the brands than the individual watches. Who I think you need to watch in 2026, who's about to level up, and who I'm starting to worry about. And we're going to end this with the two biggest ones. The brand I'm most concerned about going into 26, and the watch brand that I think is going to dominate 2026. I'll still call out specific watches as examples, because that's the easiest way to show what a brand is trying to do. But the real point here is going to be direction. We've got 10 brands on deck today, and I'd be happy to do a part 2 if you guys enjoy this. But without further ado, welcome to my AliExpress Watch Brands Guide for 2026. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to do little categories that each have a pair of brands in them, and the first category is brands that had a great 2025, and I'm confident will have an even better 2026. And first up is Berny. So let's talk a little bit about Berny, because they're a little bit different than most AliExpress brands. First off, they're not new. Berny was founded in Shenzhen back in 1995, so while a lot of AliExpress brands feel like they just spawned into existence recently, Berny is a company with some real history behind it. And they've continued to establish their identity of making some of the best internal bezel and compressor style watches you'll find on AliExpress, especially with refreshes on popular models in 2025. Their materials can hang with just about anybody right now. They're continuing to be one of the most accessible ways to own a full titanium watch as well. Stuff like the AMT 358 MS, a full titanium automatic watch for right around $100 before discounts or coupons, is still just insane value and a really cool looking piece. But I think the biggest indication of what to expect from them in 2026 is the AM198M, because this is one of those watches where you can tell the brand is intentionally trying to do something different. It's powered by the Miyota A2S0, which is basically a Japanese automatic open heart movement. So the hole in the dial is where you're actually seeing the balance wheel moving constantly. The AM198M isn't trying to be subtle at all. It's trying to look mechanical, layered, almost industrial. And then you pair that with the seconds-hand design and the overall dial layout, and it just feels like Berny taking a real swing at something fresh, unique, and bold. Whether or not this is your style, it's always amazing to see originality and risk-taking like this from an AliExpress brand. And it's not just this one watch. Another example of a recent one along these lines is the AM153M racing-inspired watch. It's a different vibe and it's not quite as out there, but it still feels like creativity from Berny. It's another unique watch that gets me really excited about where their mind is in terms of design. So keep your eye on Berny in 2026. I have really high hopes for them. They already had the materials part covered, and they're starting to experiment with boundary-pushing design, which we should all be cheering for. Next in this category, we have Addiesdive. Addiesdive is still making sure to deliver some of the best value you will find on AliExpress. They had a bunch of wins in 2025. The AD2535 Fruit series was just a fun, crazy value, amazing watch, and there's a good reason it was number 5 on my best AliExpress watches of the year. The AD2529 Racing Chronograph is a cool and very welcome new direction for Addiesdive. And the AD2537 Desert Texture might be one of my favorite dial ideas they've done recently, and offers way more depth than their previous sand dune style. I'd really love to see them push for more color variants on this one, because I'm not loving what they've came up with so far in terms of colors, but I am loving the new design. The AD2521 continues their run of beautiful 36mm quartz watches at incredible prices with amazing materials. I'm a big fan of the bright yellow one. Addiesdive is just doing summer style dials so well right now. But the one that really feels like a big level up for the brand is the AD2093. An internal bezel, transparent caseback watch. Two features that feel like they belong on higher tier brands, and ones that I don't think we've seen from Addiesdive themselves yet. And you get all of this for just $109 on their website right now. Wild value again from Addiesdive. And then the new AD2541 was their first 2026 release, and it's a really exciting sign of things to come. It's another internal bezel piece with some great color options, and they have this one listed for just $105. So it seems that Addiesdive is going to lean more into that internal bezel lane in 2026, but they're making sure the value is still absolutely insane. So I'm expecting another great year for Addiesdive. But unfortunately, this does bring us seamlessly into our next category, and that is brands that I'm concerned about going into 2026. So I'll give you guys the brand I'm most concerned about towards the end of this video, but the runner-up is Addieskin. Addieskin is basically Addiesdive's step-up line something a lot of brands have been doing lately. It has more premium intent, more texture experiments, more detail, higher pricing, and a lot of it is really exciting. I like the crown logo. I love the idea of carbon textures and mother of pearl at this price bracket. And the pricing is fair for the materials and movements they're using. And I trust Addiesdive quality. Them trying out more attention to detail and higher craftsmanship makes me eager to try this brand. But Addieskin needs to figure it out this year. And I don't even need to do a long rant, because everyone knows the problem. It's not the textures, it's not the higher prices, it's not even the logo change that they thought would fix everything. It's the name. The name that almost nobody, including me, likes. And I wish I had a perfect alternative name to hand them right now. I don't. I just know Addieskin is not the move. It sounds like a lotion, or seat covers. Anything but a premium watch. Just figure out the name. Right now, Addieskin is continuing to release a lot of beautiful watches. And you can tell they aren't selling, and literally everyone, including them, knows why. I'd honestly slow down the releases until the name is figured out. It feels like such a waste of materials, time, and money right now. You can get away with a name like Addiesdive when half of your catalog is under $50. But when your cheapest watch is over $200, you're going to need a better name than Addieskin. So best of luck, Addieskin. I hope you can figure something out, because I want to try one of these watches. I don't want that name anywhere near it. Let's move on to our next category, and this one is brands that didn't have a great 2025, but ended the year with some exciting pieces that gave me faith in them for 2026. And the first is Pagani Design. I think it was probably surprising to a lot of you to not find a Pagani Design watch on my top 10 AliExpress watches of 2025 list. I just didn't feel like 2025 was a good year for Pagani. They made some nice pieces with great value like the PD-YS019 and the PD-1793. Both of those I really enjoyed, and they actually were on my runner-up list for the top 10. But 2025 was also full of a lot of questionable choices in watch designs, along with some other pieces that I found either boring or unimaginative. However, they ended the year on a very high note with two amazing releases. First, we have the new PD-1811, which I believe is the first Pagani Design watch with an internal bezel. And this one's also a chronograph. Definitely an interesting piece, and I always love when Pagani tries to be creative. And I think they pull off the execution on this one very well too, with some great color choices, and it's a really attractive watch. However, it desperately needs a stainless steel bracelet option. I don't love the leather band look on it, so I think I'm gonna wait on this one until we get that. And then right before we rang in the new year, Pagani dropped what I believe is their most special release ever, the PD-1888, or as they're calling it, the Dweller. This is a limited run, 1,000 individually numbered pieces worldwide, and it's only available from their website. And here's what makes this one so special. Pagani is saying that the inner dual time dial isn't just for show. They're claiming it's fully functional, which is the entire point of the Sky Dweller style layout, and almost every cheap version of that watch gets it wrong. Movement-wise, they're calling this a true mechanical dual-time watch, using an automatic GMT movement with a 42-hour power reserve, and they've used the Pearl DG5833A family. This is a movement that you do not see often at all on AliExpress. I honestly can't even think of another example where you would. And what's special about this movement style is that the GMT function is typically done as a disc-style display rather than the other traditional extra GMT hand. And that's why you can even do that inner dial dual-time layout in the first place. You also have the serial number on the back of the watch that represents the individual number out of 1,000 that you have. This is not the type of stuff that you see in Pagani Design watches very often. So even if you're not obsessed with the idea of this watch, I think you have to love what it represents. Pagani doing a limited, numbered, special project release with a super interesting movement that has a clear reason to exist, and something that they clearly poured a ton of attention to detail into. You can tell Pagani Design cares so much about this watch. And $209 is a crazy good price for what they're claiming you're getting here. I think I'm gonna pick it up. I just can't decide on which color. I'm also very curious to see how a limited production Pagani Design watch does in the gray market. So these two pieces, especially the Dweller, got me really optimistic about where Pagani Design is headed going into 2026, and where their priorities are. Let's hope that AliExpress's most famous watch brand keeps moving in this direction. Next in this category, we have WM. WM had another forgettable year in 2025. My hopes for them are definitely lower than they are for Pagani Design. They released a few boring watches, a couple of nice pieces priced too high, and made the big and brave move of changing the date number color on their Glacier Ice Crack WM226 to white. Apparently something people were clamoring for, more than better materials or more interesting movement. But their final release of the year, the WM206, was a positive move in the right direction. It looks Bulova Oceanographer inspired to me, but I like the texture in the dial a lot, as well as little touches like the anchor on the seconds hand. The orange and white color variation works really well in my opinion, and is definitely one I have my eye on. The Christmas color one, however, an attempt was made, for sure. But I also love little things like the transparent case back on this one, and the bracelet looks very impressive for WM standards. And even though I wasn't a fan of a lot of their 2025 releases, it was certainly more watches from WM than we normally get through the course of a year. So that got me more optimistic about them going forward as well, and I'd love to continue to see more variety from them, and more little things like that anchor seconds hand on the WM206. That type of personality is something you don't see often enough on WM watches. So hopefully we get more of that, and less of this in 2026 from WM. Alright, so let's move on to our next category. And this one is brands that just popped up on the AliExpress radar that I'm keeping my eyes on in 2026, and I'm hoping to get my hands on soon for the channel. And the first one we have is Keaso. This is a new brand that just hit the market, and they appear to be owned by Dollar, another brand from China that creates some gorgeous and high quality pieces. Keaso dropped 2 dive watches in 2025, and both of them are bangers, one of which just barely made the list of our top 10 best AliExpress watches of 2025. They deliver that classic Seiko diver look with some exciting quartz and automatic options and crazy value, with the quartz watches coming in around $75 and the automatics around $100. That's really solid when you consider you're getting a 316L stainless steel case and bracelet, sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, a screw-down crown and case back, and C3 super lume. And the quartz is even the Swiss Ronda style, which are known for crazy long battery life, like 5 to 10 years on average. So with the very limited color options they offered in 2025, they've just left me really eager for more from them in 2026. And they honestly have to do so little. I just want to see more of these exact watches in a bunch of different color combinations. But regardless of what they come up with, make sure you have your eye on Keaso throughout 2026, because who knows how long they'll stay this inexpensive if they blow up on AliExpress. Next in this category, we have Time Token. This is a brand that I recently found on AliExpress, and please let me know in the comments if any of you own a piece from them, because I was blown away by their catalog. Let me show you guys a few of my favorites. First, check out their take on the sand dune style that we talk so much about and is so popular on AliExpress. I've actually been looking for a black version of this style since the Benyar is, it's not great. And I really like this one. All 3 color options look gorgeous and pretty fresh compared to the ones you usually see. And you're also getting 316L stainless steel in the case and bracelet, and from what I can tell, the movement seems to be a Miyota, but I'm not going to swear on it. This one is around $200. Then they have this dive watch that has a dial they claim is genuine wood grain. Whatever it is, the colors are wild, and this is one that I would love to see in person. This watch has basically no description or reviews that I can find on AliExpress, so I can't provide a ton of detail beyond that, besides that it's apparently an automatic. The price on this one is wild though, only $101. And finally, we have the one that is by far my favorite and unbelievably interesting, the carbon fiber dive watch. This one is made of what they call magic carbon fiber, and the reason it's magic is because of the insane colors and textures it shows under UV light, along with the lume. It looks completely unhinged, in a good way. But even without all that, it's just a really interesting watch, and it's sized well at 41mm in diameter and 13 thick. The movement is the 2813, a super common budget Chinese automatic movement. I think it's similar to what we found in the winter watch that we did the bezel swap on, but I could be wrong there. I'd say the only downside that I can see so far, besides the lack of information and reviews, is the water resistance. A lot of these are listed lower than you expect for dive watches, like 50 meters on the first 2 and 100 on the carbon. And that makes me a little cautious. Not because I need to go scuba diving in them, but because I just don't know enough about them yet, and that worries me a little bit about other areas with quality. But you can find that carbon fiber dive watch for around $100 right now, sometimes as low as $85. So it's only a matter of time until my curiosity gets the best of me and I order one of these. It seems worth the risk, and I've wanted a carbon fiber watch like this for a long time now. So wish me luck. And if you like what you're seeing here, definitely keep your eye on Time Token for some super interesting pieces in 2026. And again, please let me know in the comments if you have one of these. I would love to hear what you think. We're getting closer to the end. I got a few more categories for you guys. This one, brands that I don't think are being taken seriously enough right now and are going to become undeniable in 2026. And first, we have WishDoIt. Specifically, WishDoIt and their dive watches, because they are really figuring it out right now. Nearly all of their recent releases have been high value, great quality, and honestly just really good looking. First off, they kept the stupid name. But they took it off a bunch of their newer dive watch dials, and they just replaced it with the logo, which actually looks so good in my opinion, as long as no one asks you what brand you're wearing. Actually though, maybe that's what Addieskin should do now that I think about it, because just the crown would look good, better than what they're doing right now. Huh. Okay, anyway. All of their recent dive watch releases have been home runs, including their Islander homage refresh, with some new strap options that really bring a new personality to that watch. I love the color combinations they played with on the WSD 9007, and they're backing up watches like this with excellent materials, automatic movements like the NH34, and amazing prices that are just barely north of $100. WishDoIt also got in on the carbon fiber hype in 2025, creating an absolutely stunning carbon dial dive watch that is also priced really well at $150. I mean, honestly, it's just been a minute since I haven't liked a WishDoIt dive watch design. Some of their other watches, however, well, that's a totally different story. These guys are capable of designing some powerfully atrocious pieces. But when it comes to dive watches specifically, I think WishDoIt is going to continue to surprise and impress people in 2026. So don't judge a book by its cover, guys. This brand is doing good things. And the second brand in this category is Watchdives. I really don't think Watchdives is getting enough respect yet, and I'm pretty sure 2026 is going to be the year where they finally get placed on the upper echelon of AliExpress watch brands, where they belong. 2025 was an absolutely massive year for them when it came to dial textures. It felt like every week Watchdives was showing us something new, gorgeous, and exciting we had never seen from them before. Whether if it was their ice crack textures, mother of pearl, guilloche, or their improved aventurine dials, they never stopped pushing themselves to deliver new and premium materials with an unbelievable process behind them. Not to mention, Watchdives' craftsmanship and material quality is close to that of San Martin, and their dial making process is one that belongs on a watch 10 times its price. All you have to do is be okay with a VH31 quartz instead of an automatic, and you have one of the best value watches you will ever find, with the majority of their catalog hanging out around $100 to $150. They do have some new and incredible automatic pieces as well, but I truly think if they keep doing what they're doing on the quartz side, which is dial execution and value, Watchdives will be recognized as one of the best Chinese brands out there in 2026, more than they already are. Alright, so we just got two brands left, and this one is the brand that I'm most concerned about going into 2026. And that, unfortunately, is Sugess. It's been a long time since I've liked a Sugess release, and that really hurts to say, because the two watches that I do own from them, the Moonphase Master and their racing chronograph, are two of my favorite watches in my collection. I mean, the Moonphase Master is what I keep my watch winder. I love that thing. So I'm rooting hard for Sugess to do something exciting again, but they've just been letting me down lately. I'm not sure if it's them stretching themselves too thin with their ownership of Seastern, because they're doing awesome things over there, but everything from Sugess has just been boring, unimaginative, unattractive, or just too familiar lately. My favorite release of theirs in 2025 was probably the 4S65, especially the gold case editions. But it's way too similar to the chronograph I already own from them, to the point where I can't justify another $200 plus purchase. I love what their mind is in terms of case creativity, and the dial execution is better than what I have. But would it kill them to design something totally new? And their newest release, the S466, was extremely concerning to me as a fan of the brand. It's not a bad looking watch at all. I actually think it looks pretty nice, especially that mother of pearl. I want to see more of that texture from them this year. But this watch doesn't feel like Sugess at all. Sugess is one of the few AliExpress companies that feel like they have a real identity. They've been disciplined with that vintage-inspired design language, with occasional modern textures like aventurine, and I love them for that. This watch, this feels like something Pagani Design would make. And also, why is there Miyota movement in it? I mean, I love the logo on the rotor, but still, maybe I'm missing something, but I thought Sugess watches were supposed to have seagull movements in them. That to me is part of their identity. Everything about this watch just felt wrong and did not inspire confidence for me at all. I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong in 2026 by Sugess, and they are more than capable of that. So I will definitely be rooting for Sugess this year, but man, I'm nervous. And finally, let's talk about the brand that I think is going to be delivering the best watches on AliExpress in 2026, and that brand is Cronos. Yeah, not San Martin. Shocking, I know. But San Martin's recent releases and prices have not gotten me excited about what's to come from them. We can talk more about that if you guys want in a part 2 of the AliExpress brand guide. Let me know in the comments. But let's get back to the brand who just doesn't miss anymore, Cronos. First off, let's talk about just how big and important 2025 was for Cronos, and specifically how important 2 watches were for them: the L6037M and the L6028. Because here's the thing, until these 2 watches, Cronos was the most underrated and underappreciated brand on AliExpress, and it wasn't even remotely a conversation in my opinion. Cronos didn't just recently start making watches with unbelievable quality that can rival San Martin. They've been pretty much doing this the entire time. It's just that until now, I don't feel like they had that big landmark release or design that really put them on the map. But these 2 watches got insanely popular when they dropped, and it's obvious why. They both deliver unbelievable textures with depth and detail like we hadn't really seen from an AliExpress company before. But what I think happened is, those designs earned Cronos a ton of new customers, people who were not familiar with their game. So, they bought their first Cronos because the dial looked insane, but then they got the actual watch in hand, and then they were blown away. And that's why I think you're seeing so many people right now say that Cronos is better than San Martin. Their quality has always been up there with San Martin. I just think a lot of you guys are finding out right now. And that's why I think 2026 is going to be so big for Cronos. And honestly, so big for all of us as watch enthusiasts. Cronos has to do so little to be massively successful at this point. They already have the materials figured out. They've proven they can create some of the best styles you will ever see. They do not need to reinvent the wheel at all. They just need to keep pushing themselves, keep things fresh, and keep improving. And it's going to be really hard for any brand to keep up with Cronos in 2026. And if their latest release, the L6049, is any indication, we have nothing to worry about as fans, but every other brand from China, oh yeah, they have a lot to worry about, because Cronos is here to take over. So that's going to do it for the first part of my AliExpress Watch Brands Guide for 2026. Let me know in the comments what brand you think is about to have a huge year, and also tell me which takes I'm completely wrong about. I'd love to hear it. If you guys want a part 2, please say it. There's still a bunch of brands we didn't even touch, and we can absolutely keep this going. I had a ton of fun making this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. We are so close to 2,500 subscribers, where I'll be giving away another watch. Appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Shameless Watch Collector, signing off. And always remember, it's not that serious.